Quentin Tarantino gives updates on his final film. Weapons is still king of the box office. A World War Z sequel is in development. The Duffer brothers leave Netflix and sign a development deal with Paramount. Superman is already available on digital. Jason Bourne has found a studio home. We got our first look at Fallout 2. The Running Man gets a delay. Scary Movie 6 officially is bringing back Anna Faris and Regina Hall, and there's so much more to break down in this episode of Movie News. Let's get into it, everybody. The box office starting off. Again, you're solo with me, James, here. Your second favorite podcaster, Anthony, is still traveling from Massachusetts. We were there for a family wedding, but you got me for the remainder of this Movie News episode. He'll be back very soon. Let's talk about Weapons. Second weekend in a row. Still number one at the box office. It only dropped 49% at the box office, which is very impressive. Great news for horror. $22 million in its second weekend. It's already broken $100 million globally. This movie is one of the biggest hits of the year. It's absolutely getting great word of mouth, and it's a lot of fun. We posted an episode in a full breakdown of Weapons on the other day, yesterday. So go check that out if you haven't yet. But everyone's loving Weapons. Great reactions. But, man, this is really impressive. Dropping less than 50% in its second weekend. Freakier Friday, pretty good numbers as well. Dropping around 55% to $14 million in its second weekend. Or third weekend. I can't remember. But that movie's making bank. Nobody 2. Third place, $9 million. Not what they were hoping for in their first weekend at the box office, but technically better than the first film, which opened to $6 million domestically. So $9 million domestically. Fortunately for them, the film was not that expensive, only about $25 million production budget plus marketing. So should be a solid start to their box office run. Fantastic Four, still chugging. $8 million at the domestic box office. Bad Guys 2, $6 million at the box office. Superman, even though it's out digitally for rentals, which we'll talk about in a minute and the pros and cons there, $5 million at the box office. And The Naked Gun, $4.5 million at the domestic box office. So really good weekend at the box office before everyone's going back to school. People are getting their movies, getting their watches in. I expect it to be quite a drop next weekend after kids are going back in to get their educations. So we'll see. Let's talk about Quentin Tarantino. And he recently did a podcast, unfortunately not Raiders of Lost podcast, that would be pretty dope, where he's kind of addressing some rumors as well as some information about what he's thinking about the state of cinema. So in a recent podcast interview, he said that he's nowhere near done with his final screenplay, despite rumors the last couple of weeks of it going into production this December. He also says that he scrapped The Movie Critic as his final movie because he thought audiences would find it boring. To quote him, every Tarantino title promises so much except The Movie Critic. Who wants to see a movie called The Movie Critic? So I think he's very self-aware of what people's reactions will be to his final film. And I totally am on board with him, wanting to go out, dropping the mic, biggest movie, best movie of his career, because I know that he has said, like he said in this podcast episode, that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is his favorite movie he's made. Inglourious Basterds is his masterpiece. And Kill Bill is the movie he was born to make, all according to him. And I agree with those. If I had to put a stamp on one of those for each of his movies, Inglourious Basterds, I think, is probably his best made movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood it's turning into my favorite Tarantino movie, but that's clearly a love letter for himself to Hollywood, clearly. And then Kill Bill. Who else could have made Kill Bill besides Quentin Tarantino? So those all kind of check out. He's a very self-aware guy. Although he did say, to quote him, I think me and David Fincher are the two best directors. So the idea that he actually wants to develop my work shows a level of seriousness towards my work. It's kind of like that self-confident, self-aware thing. Maybe he's not the best director in people's eyes. I think he's deserved to be in the conversation of, is he the best director alive? For sure. Up in the conversation. But it's subjective. It's up to everyone else's opinion. But it is what it is. But Tarantino, very confident. And you know what? If he's not ready to make his final movie yet, let's just wait until the time is right. Real quick, before we continue, check out this amazing F1 poster over my right shoulder, provided to us by our great friends at movieposters.com. Use our code Raiders10 at checkout. You'll get 10% off your entire order today with just that code. We also have an affiliate link with the website. The episode description of this podcast will have that link, or go to our Instagram. That'll get us a commission of all purchases in addition to your 10% off of the purchase. It's a win-win for everybody. Movieposters.com are great friends for years, providing the best posters you can get on the internet. Moving on to Paramount. We have some huge Paramount news. They have been working overtime securing deals ever since they merged with Skydance. Skydance, a production company who you've seen the logo, you've seen their movies a bunch. They work a lot with Tom Cruise. They do all the Mission Impossible movies. But they've finally merged with Paramount. And the executives there, especially basically the new head of both studios, David Ellison, who's the founder of and CEO of Skydance, is now kind of taken over movie development at both studios now that they've merged. He sees World War Z, a sequel to it in the universe, as a priority at Paramount, which is so cool. I've been dying for a sequel to that movie. That's a movie that I think actually needs a sequel. I would love that. He also laid out some more priorities. Original films are a priority. Horror is a priority, but also bring great stories to the screen for IPs they're in control of, whether it's Star Trek, G.I. Joe, Terminator, Transformers. And, Ellison, he started Skydance because he loves movies so much, and you respect that. And also getting more horror out there. Quiet Place, Smile, those franchises are killing right now, pun intended. And obviously we got A Quiet Place 3 greenlit 2 weeks ago. I'm sure Smile 3 will be greenlit very soon as well. Also, R-rated comedies are a priority over there. But he also noted that originals are a priority as well, pointing to the new James Mangold and Timothée Chalamet movie, High Side, that just got greenlit a couple of weeks ago as well, the MotoGP heist movie. So I think Paramount, now that they've merged with Skydance, are really going to be a force to be reckoned with, because they understand what audiences want right now. Like, they just signed that deal also with the Duffer Brothers, taking the Duffer Brothers away from Netflix, the guys behind Stranger Things, and securing them as development partners with development deals for movies and TV shows to be developed, yes, for Paramount, but also for theatrical release. I think it'll be very cool to see a Duffer Brothers movie in theaters for the first time. Let's talk about Lord of the Rings. It's filming pretty soon, guys. May 2026. The Hunt for Gollum shoots, and according to Sir Ian McKellen, Frodo will appear. Now, I don't know how they're going to do this. Obviously, de-aging is going to be revealed to us. That it's come a long way since the last time it was really done extensively like this. But I got to say, Elijah, he looked old in The Hobbit, and he's supposed to be younger then. So, hopefully they figured it out, the tech. But we'll see. I love Lord of the Rings. It is what it is. Hopefully they nail it. I think Andy Serkis is great. Curious as hell. Fallout Season 2, we got a great look at a bunch of stills from the upcoming season. People are going to be stoked for this show. Fallout Season 2. When does it drop? Let's check out when Fallout Season 2 release date is set to come out on Amazon Prime Video. It's looking like December 2025, very soon. Very cool. All right, we went over the Duffer Brothers. That's really big news. Superman news. Let's talk about Superman. Now, James Gunn has officially announced the Superman saga. He has written the treatment for the next film in the series and hopes to begin filming soon. I think this is the right thing to do. Establish your top guy. Establish your top gun. Just like Marvel did with Iron Man. Iron Man movies, real quick. Bada bing, bada boom. Then start fleshing out the rest. We have Supergirl coming out next week. Wonder Woman's in development. But I think you got to get a Superman movie sequel out as soon as possible. So I think that's very smart for James Gunn to do. Also, Superman it's already out digitally to rent. August 15th, it came out digital release, which is just about a month after it came out. I think there are pros and cons to this. Yes, you keep your movie in the conversation. But still, I think Thunderbolts did the right thing. Thunderbolts is getting released on Disney Plus August 27th. That's like what I like to see, is some good space between theatrical releases and the digital release. But according to James Gunn, he's releasing Superman digital early so everyone can see the film before Peacemaker Season 2. To quote him, I originally thought Peacemaker was going to come out next month. There's a lot of things that are beyond our control, so that Peacemaker is coming out now, and at the end of the day, I wanted everyone to be able to see Superman that wanted to, even those people who couldn't get to a theater before Peacemaker. So I don't know if you need to have seen Superman to understand Peacemaker, probably, because a bunch of the characters from Superman are going to be in Peacemaker. That sounds like what they're doing. Not a huge fan of connecting your movies to TV shows so strongly, especially this early, but that's what they're doing, and we'll see if it pays off. Good Boy. We got our first teaser for Good Boy, the horror movie following the perspective of a dog, which I'm very curious about. And he sees his owner haunted by supernatural entities. The trailer will release at some point this week. We don't know when, but we got a little teaser of a TV screen, eerie text in the dog. It's a real dog, and they train a dog for these scenes, and I can't wait to see an actual dog performance. I miss it. Just like I miss those dog movies where they didn't move the lips. They just had a guy speaking in a booth doing voiceover for a dog without it moving its lips. I missed it. It worked, man. It worked. Let's talk about Jason Bourne now. So Universal has acquired the rights for the Jason Bourne franchise in perpetuity for the screen rights, not the book rights, the screen rights, basically forever. This will make the studio Jason Bourne's home. Expect new adaptations and content ASAP. Universal already had the rights to it, but the rights, were up, and they've reacquired them, which I think Universal really wanted to do, they needed to do, because Jason Bourne is going to be a valuable IP if they can continue making great movies out of it. But they also have the Jason Bourne stunt show at the Universal Studios in specific parks, which is supposed to be awesome. So I've always wanted to check those out. We have our first trailer for Rabbit Trap. It's a new horror movie starring Dev Patel. The film follows a couple who move to an isolated cabin, disturb a tile-with Teg Fairy ring, and are visited by a mysterious child who has ill intentions. Theaters September 12th. It sort of looks like a mix between Blowout, the Brian De Palma, John Travolta movie, and just like an A24 film kind of thing. Because the Dev Patel plays, I'm guessing he's a sound mixer or sound engineer who just picks up audio in the woods, it looks like. Stumbles upon this weird supernatural things going on. Looks eerie as hell. Excuse me. I'm getting the allergies right now. It must have been that flight. So, we got our first look at House of Guinness. This is a new series from Peaky Blinders creator Stephen Knight, who's also going to be writing the James Bond film. The series follows the Guinness family and the consequences of the death of the head of the brewery, Benjamin Guinness. Releases September 25th on Netflix. This basically kind of looks like the formula of Peaky Blinders. You got 4 or 5 brothers, late 19th century England, Ireland, and I believe a sister. So it looks like the formula of Peaky Blinders. I'm sure it'll be great. By order of Guinness. Have you guys seen a trailer or heard of this movie, Jimmy and Stiggs? This is a new horror comedy from Joe Begos and Matt Mercer, and the first film to be released under Eli Roth's new studio, the horror section. This movie was 4 years in the making, and it looks absolutely batshit bonkers crazy. It's this nuts, blood-induced, crazy alien horror movie that looks like a B horror slasher nuts movie from the 80s. It's just unhinged. It's colorful. Neon, blood, aliens. It looks insane. It looks like a lot of fun. It's actually now playing in theaters. So Jimmy and the Sticks, check it out if you're into that stuff. Wednesday Season 2 dropped its first trailer. Wednesday Season 2 Part 2, releases September 3rd on Netflix. A slight update on the lawsuit involving Together, Dave Franco, Alison Brie, and Michael Shanks, and the filmmakers suing them for their film, Better Half. According to Dave Franco, he says they have an extensive paper trail that proves how ridiculous the claims of plagiarism are for Together. To quote him, "We have the receipts, and I hope you can understand that we are moving forward, and we are going to celebrate this film that we put our literal blood, sweat, and tears into." So I'm sure we'll get some more updates on that lawsuit. New York City Comic-Con's coming up very fast. I believe it's October. And the panels have been announced. We have Marvel Animation, Marvel Television, Invincible Season 4, The Running Man, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Sony Pictures' upcoming film slate, Blumhouse's upcoming film slate, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Bat Fam, Welcome to Derry, Telemasca, The Vampire Lestat, DC KO, What's Next, Mercy First Look, X-Men Days of Future Past cast reunion, including James McAvoy, Nicholas Hoult, and Elliot Page. That's very cool. Adventure Time, Ryan Murphy's The Beauty, and Marvel Comics' Next Big Thing. Baz Luhrmann is making a Joan of Arc film, and it seems he's found his Joan in Isla Johnson, who's in talks to star as Joan of Arc for the new film for Warner Brothers. Isla, you probably would recognize from Queen of Gambit. What was the show that Queen of Gambit? Yeah, Queen of Gambit. The Queen's Gambit. I knew it didn't sound right. The Queen's Gambit, starring Anya Taylor-Joy. She played the young version of Beth in that show. And she's in talks to be Joan of Arc. And the film is described as the ultimate girl coming-of-age story set in the 100 Years' War. Sign me up. Let's go, Baz. I don't think he's made a movie since Elvis, right? So that sounds really exciting. Scary Movie 6 news, everybody. Regina Hall and Anna Faris are officially returning for the film. I think you have to have them back. They are the DNA of these movies as much as the Wayans are. Now, they've also made a statement together saying, we can't wait to bring Brenda and Cindy back to life and be reunited with our great friends, Keenan, Sean, and Marlon. 3 men we'd literally die for in Brenda's case. Again, cannot wait for Scary Movie 6. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for that film. Edgar Wright's The Running Man has been delayed just 1 week to November 14th. I don't know why. Probably for a better slot. Peacemaker Season 2, we talked about it earlier. It's certified fresh at 100%. Highest rated TV show of 2025 as well. We have a 40th year anniversary re-release happening this year. The Breakfast Club, September 7th and 10th. You can see it in theaters. There's a great poster for this re-release as well, calling you to detention. We got our first look at Vought Rising. We can see Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy. We also got a look at Bombsight, Torpedo, and Private Angel. In the prequel series, Vought Rising, Stormfront will also appear. This begins filming this month. Extraction, the Netflix movies are getting a spin-off TV series, which will star Boyd Holbrook as well as Omar Sy. We talked about Deadpool potentially being in Avengers Doomsday. It's confirmed he'll be there, but to quote Ryan Reynolds, don't expect him to actually be joining the Avengers team, though, which I would not want him to. Marvel's Zombies will now release on September 24th on Disney+, described as a 4-episode TV mature event series. Includes Shang-Chi, Yelena, Kate Bishop, Red Guardian, Scarlet Witch, Blade, Miss Marvel, and more. Wow, they really have only been able to put Blade in an animated TV series. Damn tragedy. A couple more stories left, guys, then we're done. Close Personal Friends, a new film, has been released with a cast. Brie Larson, Jack Quaid, Lily Collins, and Henry Golding. Great young hot cast. Should be a good one. The film follows one couple that meets and befriends a celebrity couple while on a trip, but personal lives and lines begin to get crossed. Good concept. I like that. Let's talk about The Knife. It's a new teaser that we got for Nnamdi Asumuga's directorial debut. The film follows the interrogation of a family whose life is thrown into chaos after the mysterious woman they find in their home is lying unconscious with a knife in her hand. Now playing in theaters. And our final bit of news, Masters of the Universe, the live-action film, is filming. Kristen Wiig will voice Roboto. Interesting choice there. So I'm assuming Roboto will maintain the comedic tone, probably. All right, that wraps movie news. Thanks again for tuning in, everybody. Anthony will be back in studio very soon, and these movie news episodes will be much longer, I promise. It's just I don't have anyone to talk to back and forth, you know. But I think we'll have a special guest on the next one as well, or this weekend coming up. Episodes, Weapons, check it out on Monday. We dropped our episode. It was a lot of fun. Fantastic movie. King of the box office again. Who would have thought? That's really great news for horror. We are booming, everybody. Horror is the hottest genre of the decade, for sure. As always, subscribe on YouTube. Leave those 5-star ratings and reviews on Spotify and Apple. Become a patron today at patreon.com/Raiders of Lost Podcast. Leave those likes, comments, engage with our content on Instagram and TikTok. And take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. This episode was executive produced by our incredible Chosen One patrons, Nicholas Martin and Jacob Kossler. Raiders of the Lost Podcast is a mirror image production.